Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I'm playing in the 6-inch white journal from Dina Wakley, and I am playing on a single page spread. So I've started off sticking in a piece of collage tissue paper just onto one page. This is one from one of Dina's patterned sets, and I'm just going to use this as my background, and I'm going to add some colour over the top of it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may well have seen this as one of my reels. So this is kind of the real-time version of that, with no bits cut out, only the bits that are boring. So hopefully you can get a bit more from this video than you would have done from watching the reel on Instagram. So I'm just chopping away the excess that I don't need here. I'm going to keep those bits for another project. And then I'm going to start just painting rainbow colours onto the stripes. So I'm using those as my guide, and I'm just simply adding the colours in. So as always, I'm using ruby, tangerine, lemon lime, turquoise. I think then I use orchid and blackberry, and I'm just doing 2 sets of each colour on this background page. So I'll just let you watch me paint these on and then on to the next bit. So this is a really easy way to create a background, because you're kind of using the marks on the collage tissue paper as your guide for where your colours are going to go. And you wouldn't necessarily have to paint in all of the stripes. You could leave some white, you could paint part of them. But this is just a really nice quick way to get some colour on your page, and it's quite uniform, and you're kind of following the marks that are there really to start off with. So yeah, once I'd finished adding all the colours on, then I gave it a good dry just to make sure that it was all set in place, and then it was on to the next part. So I apologise, this is a little bit out of focus, this bit, but I'm using a text stamp, there we go, by Natalie May Scrapbooking. Anyone would work, but this is like just to add a little bit of texture and pattern onto that background, and just to break up those colours a little bit. And one way that I love to do that is by adding some text onto my page. I find that this is something that I quite often do. So this stamp is from one of Tim Holtz medium mark set. I've got there's 2, there's set 1 and set 2. They've both got fantastic stamps in, which are great for mark making, and you can see the difference just adding a few of those onto the page makes in creating those great layers of interest. And I'm using black archival ink for this because it works as quite a nice contrast. Works with the black that's already there on the page. So then, just to bring another layer of colour, I'm adding some colour into the circles from the mark making stamp that I've used, and I'm just using different coloured Posca pens. So just kind of mixing up the colours and the marks, and just working on all those layers. It's one thing that I like to create lots of different layers in my journal pages, and it's kind of something that I do without overthinking really. I just sort of go with what feels right. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work so successfully, but on those occasions I just try and shrug my shoulders and think it's okay. It doesn't matter that it didn't work as well as I wanted it to, because on those occasions maybe it was more important that I just sat down to journal and move my hands, as Dina would say. So I'm just using sort of pinks and purples on those circles, and then here I'm using a Signo Uniball in white, and I'm just outlining those crosses, some of them, not all of them. So I'm bringing a bit of white onto the page as well, because again that helps to add the layers of contrast. This is my dotty stamp from Funky Fossil, which hopefully will be available soon. Again, just more mark making, starting to look good with all those different layers of marks on there too. And then don't cry. I am going to be using one of Dina's round metal rimmed tags in the centre of my page. So I needed a sort of calm spot for that because this is white. Now it would have worked okay without this black in there, but I kind of wanted to add that another layer of contrast around the tag, which kind of draws your eye in to the centre of the page. So then I'm just used my Posca pen just to create some dots. I've just basically used the size of the nib on that. It was quite a big chunky one. And then I am using my black fountain pen. So this has got a permanent ink in it. I honestly got this pen just off Amazon or maybe eBay. It's just a simple fountain pen, but it's really, really nice to use. And with this ink in that is permanent once it's dry, it means that you can add wet media over the top of it once you've let it dry and heat set it. So sometimes I like to use this pen, particularly if I'm writing straight onto a substrate that hasn't had any other media on top of it. So this worked quite well on this tag really. And it's got quite a fine nib, which means you can write quite small as well and detailed without it being the strokes from the pen being too thick. Okay, so then I just decided I would just add a few little dots onto that tag as well, just to help tie it in with the rest of the page and just to fill those kind of empty spaces at the side of the writing. So again, just using that dotty stamp and some black archival ink. And then to finish off, just a few white splatters. You can see that just helps to break up those black bits that are around the tag. And there, when it's not sped up, you can see how carefully I am splattering, because as I've said many a time, it goes everywhere. So there it is, a really simple page with lots and lots of layers, but you can see how easy it was to create that layered look. Basically just using paint, stamps and collage paper. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found some inspiration from watching this, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.